Hello everyone. So I'm back with the image gallery style videos. Since these are figures I painted previously, they will be in a similar format. So I hope you guys are enjoying these. Also, an update. I did figure something out regarding the recording issue, and hopefully we'll soon have videos of me doing the paintings. The one I'm currently working on is a little advanced project and hence it's taking longer than usual. But I'm really excited to share the end result with you guys. So, yeah, I hope you guys are as excited. Once again, the video displaying the figure is marked in the description, so feel free to go there. Other than that, I'm going to talk about the figure itself and the painting process throughout the video. So, thanks a lot if you plan to stay for it, and I hope you enjoy. This endeavor figure was released by Ichiban Kuji in October last year. This figure was a hit even before it was in the stores. So on the day of the lottery sales, people were out and about trying to hit multiple stores to get the figure. I was so sure that I won't be able to get it from the regular lottery that I didn't even bother wasting my time. But that's a story for another day. This is not the figure I bought back then. This is one that I bought later. This one was released by Bandai outside Japan, and hence it has a different packaging. This figure is quite memorable because of the chaos it caused, but I have to say it was well deserved. The figure itself is almost the same size as All Might, quite heavy and very stable. When I say stable, I mean that it can stand without using the stand that is included with the figure. The modeling is excellent and the work done on the fire looks crazy good. Again, the posing makes Endeavor look very iconic and everything is packed in nicely to bring out the character in the figure. Although I have to admit that the translucent effect of the fire kind of disappoints me because it throws me off a bit. Also, it's only when you look closely at the figure you realize how good the modeling is and how complicated it must have been to make the fire parts. So when they made a decision to make it translucent, I am kind of disappointed that it doesn't pop out more. And I feel like if there is fire, it should highlight the figure itself. It should add some sense of strength and add a little bit of highlight to the figure, which generally lacks when it comes to the effect that they present. So that's literally the only thing I don't like. Other than that, it's really good. So in my opinion, it is the perfect figure to pair with All Might, and their posing seems to be complementing each other very good in a very aesthetic way. Although they were released far apart, it really feels like they were very carefully planned to be perfect set when you place them side by side. So to be perfectly transparent, this was the third Endeavor figure that I painted, and I feel like this is going to be the last one for this particular figure. Now when it comes to painting, I actually painted the figure along with All Might, and that might have been a reason behind the burnout that I had mentioned in the last video. But from what I've stated before, it only makes sense to pair them up and paint them in a way that they can be displayed together. So I repainted the fire part. Of course, I don't know why I'm mentioning it. I did paint the whole thing. So yeah, the fire part was painted with an airbrush. Now I don't really have a proper setup with a booth which has like your exhaust and compressors and everything. So I use a portable airbrush and I have to do it near the balcony. Now This might prove to be a bit challenging when recording videos, but oh well, we'll address it when we get there. So I painted the fire first so that I could work over the places that got sprayed over unintentionally. The fire effect was mostly done using yellow, orange, and some brown to make it pop a bit. And yeah, I should add that before using yellow, I did coat those parts with white, so like bright white. I think I used matte white for this, and then sprayed it over with a coat of yellow, or rather light yellow kind of, so it has that glowing effect. And when I add a layer of white under the actual color, it makes the whole thing a bit more lighter, so it looks good. So yeah, the final result pops out nicely, and the yellow looks really dense, so it complements the painting style, like the illustration style painting that is done on the rest of the figure. So yeah, the rest of the body was painted in a similar manner to the All Might figure, and I literally used the same colors because their uniforms have a very similar color scheme, and that way I wouldn't have to remake the same shades again and again, and I could match them up nicely as the final result. So yeah, honestly, it came out way better than the previous figures I had painted, and even as a standalone figure, it looks very good. So the fire and the cell shading on the body brings, like, it puts everything together very nicely. Like it's a compact thing at the end, and it attracts your attention. It's pleasing. It's the shading looks nice. The fire stands out, so it brings out those small details which I wanted to be visible in Endeavor. So yeah, the pictures which I posted, I have added those pictures to this video of All Might and Endeavor back to back, and the result is mind blowing. I wasn't really expecting it to be so good. I was I didn't really know what to expect, but basically it turned out way better than what I'd imagined. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. So yeah, but once the paintings are done, I have to let the figures go, and when that happens, there's always this mixed feeling that you have to give away something that you are like really satisfied with. You've put effort into it, and now you have to part with it. So it's like once you finish the piece, it's you feel that pride that yeah, you worked hard and made it happen. Then you feel sad that you have to let it go, like you have to give it to someone else, but then you get excited that you can pick out another figure and paint it, like repeat the whole process again. So it's a cycle that happens when you're doing something like what I'm doing right now. So all in all, it's a good feeling. You go through these things, but overall it's good. And I really hope that I'm able to bring across some of that joy that I feel while painting these figures to my audience through my ramblings. Now, before I end the video, I would like to address a question that was posted recently by Noah Smith. So the question was, do you typically clean and reprime the figures and then do all the acrylics by hand, or do you paint directly onto the figures? Well, first of all, thanks for the question, since it allows me to get a bit more into the details of the painting process. Because honestly speaking, to me, this thing feels so natural that I don't really know what to tell you about the process. Like I feel like these are common things and everyone knows them already, so I don't know what to mention. So when you ask questions, I can go into the details, and honestly, it's fun that way. So yeah, if you have any more questions, please go ahead and comment, and I would love to answer all your questions. So now, coming back to repriming the figures and painting. So this is from my personal experience. I had started with Kami acrylic paints when I first started painting figures, and I didn't have the money to buy Citadel or the other well-known brands, since they are surprisingly expensive here. So while working with those paints, it was important to reprime the figures, since the paints would not stick very well to the surface, and basically you will end up with an uneven finish. So it wasn't as good. But as I progressed with my paintings, I slowly switched to Gaia notes, which are lacquer paints and are more suitable for surfaces like the ones you have on the figures. And well, there are some paints which will still give you problems when it comes to lacquer paints, but in that case you can just use a layer of top coat and it will be fine. So it doesn't require as much pre-processing, as in like cleaning and repriming. Of course, if you have to do like pre-processing will include your cleaning, disassembly, repriming, whatever, everything before painting. So Gaia Notes doesn't need too much of that. But yes, if you are like going to change the color totally, like you're going for a totally different color, then yes, I would recommend that you reprime the surface. If not, then it's fine, because lacquer paint just covers the whole thing very nicely. And so for example, like in Mirko figure, I had done some slight remodeling, so I had to reprime it, because when you remodel, you have to cover the surface and make sure that it can, like, it's ready for the painting. So that one required priming. And the All Might figure, it did not need any priming, so I didn't do any on that. So it matters, it depends on, like, it's different on a case to case basis, so you can choose if you're using lacquer paints. Now I think if you're using acrylic paints, it's best to use a primer before you get started with your painting. And regarding the Mirko figure, yeah, I will leave it to you guys to figure out what modifications I had done. If you can find out, then do let me know. That's going to be fun. So yeah, that'll be all for now. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, leave a like if you had fun listening to me, and I hope you have a nice day.